Todd, some parents we spoke to say they worry their kids won't be able to keep their masks on all day long. Others say it gives them a peace of mind. And a representative we spoke with from the Delaware State Education Association said it also gives teachers a peace of mind and it lets them focus on what they're actually there to do, to teach the kids. Just above that freezing temperature. That's where you really have to pay attention. You have to be careful on your morning commute. It's beautiful here right now with all this white stuff coming down, but not so great for driving. But you know what it is great for? Bill, it is great for a snowball fight. So I think we're going to have some fun out here in the snow while you guys are stuck inside working this morning. Steve, pretty early in the night, that governor's race was called, declaring Governor John Carney the winner over newcomer Julianne Murray. It was really those mail-in votes that pushed Carney over that finish line. Lawmakers say this is sensible legislation that is within the purview of the Constitution, but the president of Delaware Gun Rights says they want to be part of the conversation and that these bills are not the solution. Steve, many people here in Rehoboth Beach admit they're tired of the COVID-19 restrictions and the mask mandate, and that today's news is hope that things are going to return to normal. And business owners like restaurants here agree. They admit it's been a tough year and that they're ready to welcome people back without restriction. Todd, some parents we spoke to say they worry their kids won't be able to keep their masks on all day long. Others say it gives them a peace of mind. And a representative we spoke with from the Delaware State Education Association said it also gives teachers a peace of mind and it lets them focus on what they're actually there to do, to teach the kids. When school bells ring for the upcoming school year, masks will once again be required. Division of Public Health Director Rick Hong says the decision was made with thoughtful consideration. He says while school-age children in Delaware have not been affected by COVID as greatly as in other states, Delaware is not in a bubble, and it could happen here quickly.
People also have to realize that really to keep schools safe is not just one option. It's really using a layered approach. So it's vaccine, it's masking, it's routine cleaning, social distancing, and so forth and so forth. So all these measures will result in a safer school environment.
The Delaware State Education Association telling WBOC today it supports the move in helping to protect teachers and students.
Especially with our students who are under the age of 12 and can't get a vaccine yet. I think that that's going to be helpful in the teacher's peace of mind as well. And then here at our secondary levels where, our students may or may not be vaccinated, I personally like how it's a coverage for all.
The mandate is getting mixed reviews from parents who worry kids will not be able to wear them all day or the masks may be a distraction.
I don't think they should have to wear them. Last year they had to wear them and he was miserable all day. He can't pay attention at home, so he needs to go to school without them.
Others say masks not only protect the child, but those they come home to as well.
My boyfriend, he is immunocompromised, you know what I mean? So any steps that we can take to keep our house safer is good for me.
For now, masks in Delaware schools are here to stay. Now, the mask mandate covers both public and private schools, and Dr. Hong says the best thing that we can do right now to protect kids in schools is to get the vaccine if they're 12 years or older and to keep wearing those masks. In Dover, Cassie, Semyon, WBOC News, Delmarva's news leader. Todd?
Cassie, thanks tonight.
It was given about 5 o'clock this morning to a nurse at Bay Health in Dover who works with COVID patients. And now things are really ramping up. Bay Health vaccinating more of its frontline medical workers. WBOC's Cassie Semyon is live in Dover tonight. Cassie, you were there as one of those first doses was delivered.
Steve, you could feel the energy and the excitement in that room as they were preparing the vaccines for the staff. They have been overwhelmed for months with COVID patients, and one doctor who received the vaccination today said today brought her hope that one day we can return to normal. For months, we have heard horror stories coming out of hospitals as they treat COVID patients.
I have seen perfectly healthy people like us die. And it emotionally really takes a toll on you. Coming into work takes a toll on you. And you keep doing it because we love
what we do. We're very blessed to do what we do.
But now a story of hope as the first vaccines were given to hospital workers today in Dover. Dr. Kelly Abresha, medical director of emergency services, says this is the light at the end of the tunnel as she continues to treat COVID patients.
By 11 o'clock yesterday, when I got here at 8, I had already admitted 5 very sick COVID patients in 3 hours.
Abresha says she is a skeptic and did her own research on the vaccine. She wants the public to know this immunization is safe.
I would not have gotten the vaccine if I didn't think it was completely safe and completely appropriate. I feel very strongly about that.
Now we wait for the day until all of us have access to the COVID vaccine. Now the state says it won't be until late spring or early summer that the vaccine will be available to the general public. The state is also waiting on the Moderna vaccine. The Moderna vaccine is what the FDA calls very effective, and it could be approved as early as the end of this week. And if that happens, they could show up here in Delaware, those 8,000 doses that the state ordered, by next week. In Dover, Cassie, Semyon, WBOC News, Delmarva's news leader. It's one of the most holy days observed by Christians around the world, the crucifixion of Jesus Christ.
God, who by the passion of Christ, your Son, our Lord.
Good Friday is a solemn day marked with prayer and fasting, waiting for the resurrection. A number of those who believe took to the streets of Dover today to mimic Christ's walk to Calvary.
The cross was very heavy.
The procession through the streets of Dover led by 10-year-old Jesse Williamson, with stops along the way for prayer and reflection at Christian churches throughout downtown.
And having been made perfect, he became the source of eternal salvation.
Those out walking the way of the cross today, thankful to be surrounded by their neighbors, despite the cold and windy weather.
This is the third time that I have done this, and I have found that this is a wonderful way to meet other people of other faiths. It's typical, even if it's a little cool, it's just wonderful to be outside, especially now during the time of this pandemic, and to come together with other people that believe as you do, whether they go to your church or not.
The event holding special meaning after being forced to cancel the procession last year.
As we begin to come out of, if you will, the COVID pandemic, we as Christians, as believers, see this as a resurrection event. So like we are going to celebrate the resurrection of our Lord on Easter Sunday, this coming Sunday, we can also celebrate new life and new rebirth as we regroup and gather and change as we go into whatever the new norm is.
The journey not quite as long or difficult as the path Jesus walked, but for those who took the journey today, it symbolizes hope and community that many have longed for this past year. In Dover, Cassie, Semyon, WBOC News, Delmarva's news leader.